Okay, so it's really that week. It happens every single year, but there's just a week where the football gods decide that they need blood. And the entire NFL landscape was changed because of that this week. So without further ado, let's just get right into the recap, shall we? We got a crazy one this week.
How does this keep happening?
So, when I did my little podcast before this week, I said, yeah, the Buccaneers are the better team and are getting healthier, but it doesn't matter, because these are games that the Bucs always lose. And sure enough, despite Atlanta getting 19 fucking penalties to the Bucs just 4, they lost this game. And I didn't watch the first half live, so you can imagine the utter joy I got to see when I opened my fantasy app to see Kyle Pitts had 47 points. So there goes my playoff game, but the Bucs had this game won. There was legitimately zero excuse for them to lose. They had a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter and blew it to the Falcons, a team with nothing to play for, a head coach who is a dead man walking, and a team with a backup quarterback missing their best wide receiver. And they lost. Baker played fine, honestly. It was just the defense let them down at clutch moments, but also the offense a bit. I mean, Baker did have a chance to pick up a first down and end it, and they didn't. And Kirk Cousins went for near 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Falcons won a pointless game for them. It's literally a lose-lose situation, because imagine if the Falcons rally and they decide to keep Raheem Morris. I mean, that'd be fucking amazing. Just for my entertainment, not for them. But meanwhile, with the Panthers losing, the Bucs are in a confusing situation, because in a year like this, I mean, if they can't compete, then what are we doing here? Seriously, I know they've been injured, but this was the game where you were healthier than ever before, and you still collapsed. So it's just fucking unacceptable. And they're probably going to make the playoffs still with like 8 wins, but who fucking cares? Seattle's going to just absolutely incinerate you by 80 points. Welcome back to yet another week of I Hope We Lose, and this week, yeah, we lost. Turns out Geno Smith isn't the only issue, believe it or not, and even without Jalen Carter for Philly, our offensive line absolutely shat itself. I'm gonna talk about this whole Raiders season, okay, very, very soon. Just wait. A few days and a video will be out, but we just, for fuck's sake, man, Brandon Graham got a sack, and Kendrell Pickett the 5th. I have words to say. I expected nothing from you, but still, holy fuck, dude. For a guy we gave up a pick for no reason, mind you, Kenny Pickett went out there and led the offense to the lowest net yards in a game by the Raiders since 2008. Mind you, that last game was when Jamarcus fucking Russell went 6 for 19 with a pick, and this was the least yards gained in a game for us since the merger. Joe Namath was still getting laid in his prime last time we shit the bed this badly. Max Crosby was screaming at everyone, including Devin White, because man, he sets the edge like no other. And yeah, I mean, we did lose. That's ideal. It just doesn't have to feel this bad though, man. It's just gonna be the first year ever where I don't go to a game in person, and why? Why would I?
I want to take a pic.
This game fucking stings for Patriots fans. Early on, everything was going great for them. Drake May was having himself a half. The Bills were getting blown out. Patriots fans were busted left and right. And then Josh Allen threw up on the sideline. And from there, the Bills could not be stopped. All season long, I have been a believer in the Patriots defense being a bit fraudulent. Not that they're like terrible, but I think they've benefited from the schedule more than the offense by far. And yeah, in this one, they kind of got exposed. The Bills scored 5 straight touchdowns, and the Patriots offense just couldn't execute when it mattered most. And outside the long Travion Henderson touchdown run, the Patriots offense was completely dead in the second half. And this is why people don't believe in them. They should be able to win games like this. And playoff DNA is a thing, and sadly for them, they just don't have it yet. I believe you have to be punched in the mouth before you can win anything, and maybe this is good for the Patriots, but yeah, I don't know. I still feel like they need to be punched in the mouth in the playoffs too, so we'll see, but maybe this is not a good sign for them at all, and yeah, Josh Allen's pretty good at football. Ladies and gentlemen, the bad man is gone. For some of you out there, okay, say what you want to say, but I think the playoffs are more interesting with the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Chiefs are officially eliminated from the playoffs, and there's still multiple weeks left in the season. Now, like I said before, it kind of did happen last week. That was the funeral, but this was just pissing on their grave, and their entire season was just summarized so well by this game. This is a game that's going to be talked about for decades to come because the offense was terrible all game outside of the literal first possession. They just don't have weapons. Kelsey is not respected by defenses anymore. Rashee Rice has been relatively disappointing. The offensive line has underperformed after losing Thuney to free agency and others to injury. They have no run game. Kareem Hunt is literally just some fat guy. Xavier Worthy never took that step that he should have. And maybe Andy Reid and Matt Nagy just don't have it anymore. I'm sorry, I literally think this season was everyone's fault but Mahomes's. Not that he was blameless, but even with everything burning around him, he's still top 10 in success rate and top 4 in EPA per play. So it's not that he's washed at all, but man, this was another bad overall performance by the Chiefs. As a team, the Chargers defense came to play, and the defense has continued to bail out an offense still led by Herbert with a broken fucking hand. But the game ended in the worst possible way for the Chiefs, but maybe the only way it could have ended. Mahomes did everything he could, and in his last gasp of breath, he tore his ACL. That's it. That's the season, and potentially some of next year too. I know he's a quarterback and ACLs don't matter as much, but it's still a huge deal, and mentally, this is a dagger for Mahomes and Chiefs Kingdom. It sucks, but it's been a nightmare season. So a nightmare finish is about par for the fucking course. Big win for the Chargers, though. With Buffalo picking up steam, they need every win they can get in the AFC, and Denver is not slowing down. So the Chargers are probably going to lock up about the 6th seed in the wild card, basically. And that's not bad. Welcome back to another week of whatever the fuck is going on in the AFC North, because in this installment of Ravens vs. Bengals, we got a shutout? Huh? I mean, we all watched the Thanksgiving game, right? Or at least you watched the TubFrog recap, right? Right? But Baltimore's defense got mangled by Burrow in that game. And I know T. Higgins was out in this one, but 0 points? Shit, I mean, I guess adding Adarius Washington and Tavius Robinson back to the lineup changed everything for the Ravens. Maybe that's a thing going forward, as they ended up bringing pressure on Joe Burrow over and over again, and they just kept getting to him. In 7-degree weather, the Bengals offense got absolutely clamped, and Joe Burrow basically had the second worst game of his entire career. This was a crazy game by the Ravens defense. I can't give them enough props, but this is just super disheartening for the Bengals, because Joe Burrow is seemingly losing his passion to play. Zach Taylor should and most likely will be fired by the end of the season, and it's a washed year. Again, this has to be the end of an era because they might lose Joe Burrow. But also on the other side of things, I don't know, man. Lamar was still not very good. He wasn't bad, and I get it, players dropped passes. He did what he needed, but 2024 Lamar drops 40 in the Bengals. That's all I have to say. I don't want to talk too badly about them because they did win, but yeah, I don't know, man. I still feel like the Ravens will struggle against like Houston in the wild card if they don't win the division. So I was doing a little research, as one does from time to time, and I was wondering who has the lowest passer rating in a game this season, with a minimum of 15 completions. And I did not think it'd be this game from Shedeur Sanders, but yeah, it fucking is. He barely eked out that disaster class from Jalen Hurts versus the Chargers, to be fair, and it's also not fair to him, but he sort of has the overall worst passer rating in a game too, when he was thrown into the fire versus the Ravens. So yeah, take that for what you will. I mean, Dennis Allen was right. He said, we're going to make a rookie quarterback beat us in a terrible weather game, and Shedeur was not able to do it. He went for 0 touchdowns, 3 picks, and this game was a blowout. And all positives for the Bears. The offense continued to roll even without Rome Odunze, as he was ruled out 2 minutes before fucking kickoff. I really picked an unfortunate time to take a shit and not have my phone with me, so great. Thanks, Rome, for throwing my fantasy playoff game also. Really appreciate it. Anyways, there's not really a negative for Chicago. It looked like Caleb might have gotten hurt, but he came back and deserves a lot of credit for playing solid to great football versus an elite Browns defense. And with the Packers situation, which we'll get to, this was a massive win for Chicago. Massive. They need to get ready for this game versus the Packers, and that 49ers game in 2 weeks could literally decide everything, and potentially the #1 seed. So Chicago's got to stay disciplined and locked in, and to be honest with you, I think they will.
All right, then we got in the end zone 2 times with Nico.
And now we get to the blowout section of the games, because the Texans and Cardinals game ended within 5 minutes. Nico Collins got a long touchdown, Arizona then fumbled the kickoff, and it was over. And still though, this was super encouraging for the Texans. This is what great teams do. They handle terrible teams, and the offense is playing better and better. I mean, shit, again, I didn't think I'd be giving flowers to Nick Caley, but a Nick Caley offense just dropped 40 points. Him and CJ Stroud deserve love, so great job, Houston. In Arizona, I still refuse to talk about you, but the Cardinals documentary is coming soon, okay? I promise. And again, man, back to giving flowers to players that I was shitting on earlier in the season, but Trevor Lawrence just set a franchise record 6 touchdowns. And over his last 3 games, he is averaging 270, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And the Jaguars, over the sample size of since their Cardinals game, are averaging more than 30 points per game. So Liam Cohen is just cooking. He can coach a damn football team and deserves to probably be like 2nd or 3rd in the Coach of the Year race, probably behind Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan. But the Jags dropped an unbelievable amount of points on the Jets. I won't say for their sanity, but yeah, tough time to be a Jets fan. Again, I almost forgot to write about this game, and yeah, an absolute tank bowl took place, and it really hurt me the Giants didn't pull this one out, but we'll see you in 2 weeks, Giants fans, huh? Our Week 17 tank bowl it's gonna be legendary. All the 1 p.m. games were great, except for this one. Yeah, this was the worst team in the NFL playing against a top 10 team. And what do you think happened? Well, yeah, just an absolute demolition. Cam Ward played fine. Brock Purdy did great versus the Titans, albeit, but yeah. Wipe everything and draft a fucking receiver, Tennessee. Please. Man, dude, I want to give the Broncos their flowers first because they deserve it. Bo Nix played his best game of his career, given the opponent probably, and the stage. He had 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 130 passer rating, but this game was just so depressing. The Green Bay Packers were my Super Bowl pick once they got Micah Parsons, but injuries have just ended their season. It really has. It's over. Jordan Love dealt with injuries early. Jacobs has been in and out. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson earlier. Tucker Kraft's season-ending injury was devastating. And in this game, Christian Watson, who's revived their offense recently, went down with what thankfully doesn't seem awful. 2 linemen and Zach Tom and Evan Williams went down. And the final nail in their coffin was Micah Parsons. He went down with a non-contact injury, and from the second it happened, everyone knew what it was. It was an ACL injury, and Micah Parsons is done for the season. So this is it. I mean, it's brutal. Congratulations to the Broncos. Again, they are moving up in the power rankings. They look great. The offensive line is insane still. Bo Nix, if he plays like that and the defense plays well, they can't be beaten by anyone. So great for them. But I think the Green Bay Packers had a complete Super Bowl level team before the year, and it's just so sad to see it all fall apart because without their best weapon on offense and defense, with no Kraft, no Parsons, and more little injuries, it's over. So I'm just sorry, Green Bay. And it hurts it had to happen now, but yeah, you're fucked. Guys, I don't know what else to say other than, like, there's a world where the better team won this game, okay? We just need to be honest about the Panthers because you guys need to chill out. I see your comments every week just flip-flopping with the Panthers. It is funny because people will tell me that Bryce Young isn't even close to a bust and is actually an elite quarterback after they win. And then next week people will be like, yeah, all right, fine, I see your point. But it's been happening all year. It's an overall consistency thing. You guys need to take a step back and realize he has his moments, of course, but fuck. So did Josh Rosen, man. And before this game, he came in as the QB 29 in EPA per game and QB 24 in success rate. He's not good. So that's not a franchise quarterback. You can't build around that. He has not shown that he is a consistent player in the National Football League over 3 years. This Panthers team is not very good. They aren't. The season ended versus the Niners. They can still make the playoffs, sure, but they won't win anything. The Panthers looked horribly coached out there. I was disgusted with Dave Canales. The game plan, terrible. They had 100 yards in penalties. The defense was soft as shit, but on the bright side, never mind. There is no bright side. Tyler Shuck for the Saints looked good again, though. I mean, there's something there. I'm going to be honest with you, and I mean this in the nicest way, but he reminds me of a young Derek Carr. I think Shuck has shown he deserves the starting spot next season. Now, I legitimately feel bad for Spencer Rattler because he was solid this year, but yeah, just a good win for the Saints. It hurts their tank, but it always feels good to sweep a division rival. So I know the referee calls weren't great in this one also, but I'm sorry. You lost to the fucking New Orleans Saints with your playoff hopes on the line, Carolina. You don't deserve fucking sympathy. Disgusting. I'm telling y'all, man, Rams, Lions, and the Stafford LA era is always peak cinema. Always. And in this one, Detroit just drew a bad hand. With their playoff hopes on the line, they did not want to run into the best team in football. And even scarier, the Rams made adjustments at halftime on defense. After getting shredded and being down 24-14, I was losing my mind. I was saying it was happening again. The Rams defense won't change, but they locked in, so I have to give them credit. And the offense took it from there. Detroit allowed 500 yards and 160 rushing yards. Blake Corum is a major piece of this Rams offense now, and all the vibes were up for the Rams, except for injuries. Because yeah, the title of this video is the title for a reason. The blood gods were thirsty, and Devontae Adams re-aggravated his hamstring, and Puka Nacua went down after a hip drop tackle. Just brutal for them. It seems like Puka's okay, but Devontae will have to see. They can't rush him out early, and especially at his age, hamstring injuries are a bit tricky, but yeah, Lions are probably fucked. They're gonna hope that whoever loses the Bears-Niners game loses out, basically, and they're gonna have to win out to have a chance, but it's kind of cool that Stafford passed Phillip Rivers on the all-time yardage list versus the Lions. It's pretty poetic. What do you mean Phillip Rivers came back? I've never been more excited for a singular football game in a season than this one, to be honest with you. I literally can't remember being more excited for one. Phillip Motherfluffin' Rivers was fucking back, man. This was just a special moment in sports, and I hope you guys locked in. I feel like I'm overreacting, but this was crazy to see. I was so excited for the first drive. He threw some wobblers, and he was looking rather fluffy out there, but dadgummit, Phillip Rivers did a solid job. In 2025, this was a guy that was thrown in the fire at 44 years old as a grandpa with almost no practice time and played against the best defense in football and almost stole a win versus the second best team in the NFL. Now, Seattle's offense was terrible out there. Credit to the Colts defense. They got pressure, but Seattle's offensive line got wrecked. Sam Darnold had no time. The play calling was stale at best and kept Indy in it. And this game was entirely on the foot of Jason Myers. But it looked like Phillip Rivers had it, man. He got the Colts down the field on a game-winning drive. I thought I was watching a Phillip Rivers game-winning drive in 2025, and their brand new kicker, basically, hit a career long. It was nuts. The Hawks were going to blow it. But then the Colts defense cratered at the worst time. Darnold found Rashid Shaheed, and Jason Myers did the thing again. And this might be the end of the Phillip Rivers saga already. It's sad, but Colts fans, maybe that's a good thing, but for entertainment, I don't know. Because Anthony Richardson seems to have recovered from his devastating fight with the stretch band, so yay. And maybe this will just be a thing for new fans to be baffled by looking back at and being like, wait, what the fuck do you mean Phillip Rivers played one game in 2025? Why? Well, that's it. That's it, Dallas. You're done. And it's just, games like this are always funny. Now, I wish that they flexed like Broncos-Packers to Sunday Night Football, to be honest with you, but this was still an entertaining game overall. Dallas is done. It's over. And for Minnesota, I mean, shit, dude, that's 2 good J.J. McCarthy games in a row. Yes, it's Dallas's defense, but you still have to give him flowers, man. You really do. And this is encouraging for the future for Minnesota. Yes, you would wish that this team played like this all year, but again, I think a lot of that is because you played against the Dallas fucking Cowboys defense. So, yeah, it's an end to both of their seasons, but at the end of the day, sometimes stakes don't matter, and you can just enjoy a fun football game. Wow, I was actually looking forward to a somewhat competitive game, but then I remembered it's actually cold, and the Miami Dolphins cannot play a professional sports game when it's fucking cold, apparently. Tua was horrendous out there. I mean, the Steelers played a terrible first half, but came out the second half on fire. Aaron Rodgers was completing good passes that weren't fucking 1-yard checkdowns to Kenneth Gainwell, and eventually they just buried the Dolphins. And it was just baffling to see the game just devolve into what it was, where the Dolphins just quit. The fourth quarter didn't even matter. They were taking fucking 40 seconds every time they snapped the ball, and their season's over. Which, you know, I guess credit to them, honestly, that they got this far from how much of a disaster it was the first few weeks of the season. So good for them. Mike McDaniels will probably keep his job. Is that for the better? We'll see next year, I guess. But the Steelers are going 9-8. But before we end this video, you know what time it is. It is time for the TubFrog Discord Awards, where I turn to you, the people, to see what you thought were the best and worst plays and players from Week 15 now. And without further ado, let's begin, because I asked what you thought the best play was from Week 15, and it ended up going to Caleb Williams' pass to DJ Moore, which was an amazing play, but still, I think, given the standards of this question, probably one of the lower ones of the season. And then I asked what the worst play was from Week 15, and this went to Jerry Jeudy dropping an incredible touchdown, just straight into defenders' hands. Just seeing the pictures of that before and after pick were just... yeah, it's been that year for the Browns. And then I asked what the best game was from Week 15, and it easily went to Bills vs. Patriots, which is entirely fair. But Lions vs. Rams, man, it was a fun game. It was a good one. And Packers-Broncos was good too, despite the injuries. Then I asked what the worst game was from Week 15, and I don't know what you guys are talking about here. I mean, the Tank Bowl worked. You guys just aren't seeing the greater vision. That's all I'm trying to say. But then I asked what you thought the best team was from Week 15, and it went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's good to see them getting props, man. I mean, Jacksonville being good is something that very few of you probably remember, to be honest with you. And then I asked who you thought the worst team was from Week 15, and guys, come on, what did you expect from us? Like, yeah, we weren't gonna win, but are you serious? Like, the Bengals got shut out, and they didn't even... whatever. What am I trying to fucking fight against? And then I asked who you thought the best player was from Week 15, and by golly, dadgummit, Philip Mother Fluffin' Rivers won this one. Was he good? No. Is it funny? Moderately. So there you go. And then I asked who you thought the worst player was from Week 15, and I guess you could put Philip Rivers on here too, but it went to Kenny Pickett. So... good to see he's back getting titles like that. He was very good at this the past few years. And then I asked what you thought the best division was. There's several different answers here. This is a pretty unbiased question, but it went to the NFC North, which, you know, fair, but if we're going off pure vibes, I think there's different answers there. But anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you did like this video, watch this video I did a few days back on the Cleveland Browns state in 2025. It's pretty good, trust me. Thanks to all my Patreons for pledging tiers. Truly does mean a lot, but anyways, till next time.